In our previous class, we have studied about solubility and factors affecting the solubility of various types of solutes, and also we have studied about Henry's law and its applications. Today we are going to study about vapor pressure of liquid solutions. So before studying about vapor pressure of liquid solutions, first let us see what are liquid solutions. What do you mean by liquid solutions? In liquid solutions, solvent is liquid and its physical state is liquid. So in liquid solutions, which is a solvent? Solvent is liquid. Solvent is liquid. Solute may be liquid or solid, or it may be a gas. Okay. Now, let us see what is vapor pressure. What do you mean by vapor pressure? You studied what is vapor pressure in first PUC. Now, you take a liquid in a closed container. You take any liquid, let it be water only. You take H2O in a closed container. We know liquids are volatile substances. Volatile substances. What do you mean by volatile substances? Volatile substances undergo evaporation. They undergo evaporation and they form vapors. If you take water in an open container, the molecules which are present at the surface of water undergo evaporation because of its volatility. It undergoes evaporation. Here, if you take the same water in this closed container, in this case also, water molecules which are present at the surface of this undergo evaporation. They also undergo evaporation and they goes to vapor phase. They form water vapors. All the liquids are volatile. They undergo evaporation and they form vapors. Okay. Now we have taken water in a closed container. In the closed container also, water molecules at the surface undergo evaporation and they produces the vapors. The water vapors are produced. Since it's a closed container, there is accumulation of these water vapor takes place. The molecule of water in vapor phase increases and it accumulates above the surface of water. So here they accumulate. These dots represents the water molecules in vapor phase. Now these molecules which are in vapor phase or which are in gaseous phase exert pressure on the liquid or on the surface of this container. They start exerting pressure and this pressure is known as vapor pressure. So vapor pressure is nothing but the pressure exerted by the molecules of liquid in vapor phase or in gaseous phase. Since it's a closed container, it exerts pressure. So as the process of evaporation increases, as time passes at a given temperature, as time passes, more and more number of molecules enters into vapor phase, not into liquid phase, they enters into vapor phase. Pressure above the surface of liquid slowly increases. At the same time, some of the molecules which are present in the vapor phase, which are in gaseous phase, condenses back into liquid. So here, now we can see two types of processes. There are two types of processes. One is process of evaporation, and second one is the process of condensation. Condensation means the molecules of water which are in gaseous phase or which are in vapor phase condenses back into liquid. It accumulates and it enters into liquid state. As time passes, a state is attained at which the rate of evaporation becomes equal to rate of condensation. You studied it in first PUC also. It's an equilibrium state. Okay, while discussing about the solubility of solute in solvent, we discussed about saturated solution, about equilibrium. So in that case, we discussed about dissolution and crystallization. Rate of dissolution becomes equal to rate of crystallization. Here also, in this case also, we get a equilibrium state, a dynamic equilibrium state in which the rate of evaporation of liquid becomes equal to rate of condensation. At this time, the vapor pressure of liquid becomes constant. vapor pressure remains constant and it does not change at that temperature T. Okay, it is also known as saturated vapor pressure. You understood what is vapor pressure now? So vapor pressure is nothing but the pressure exerted by the vapor of molecules which are in gaseous state. Okay, the vapor of liquid which are present in gaseous state. So this is about the vapor pressure of liquid. Why they form vapors? Because liquids are volatile substances. The molecules which are present in the vapor phase undergo evaporation. They form vapors. So these molecules of liquid which are in vapor phase, they exert pressure on the liquid which is known as vapor pressure. As the molecules in the vapor phase increases, the condensation also increases. Means some of the molecules which are present in this surface when in the vapor phase condenses back into the liquid which reduces the pressure. Now there is an equilibrium at temperature T at which the rate of evaporation becomes equal to rate of condensation. Okay, this is about vapor pressure and saturated vapor pressure. Now let us see the types of liquid solutions. Now we know what is vapor pressure, what are liquid solutions. Now let us see the types of liquid solutions. There are two types of liquid solutions here we discuss. That first one is liquid in liquid solutions. Here both the solvent and solute are liquids. Solute is also liquid, solvent is also a liquid. Here both the components are in liquid state. The second type of liquid solution is solid in liquid solution. Here solid is a solute and liquid is the solvent. Here only one component is the volatile component. Here both the components are the volatile components. Liquids are volatile. In liquid solution we have two volatile components. In solid and liquid solution we have only one volatile component. Solutes are not volatile. Now let us begin with the first type of solutions, liquid in liquid solutions. Already I told you what are liquid in liquid solutions. Here both the components are in liquid state. Liquid state. Both the solute and solvent are liquids. As you know, liquids are volatile substances. They undergo evaporation. Here you take two liquids, 1 and 2. Okay? In order to explain the vapor pressure of liquid in liquid solution, we have to take two components, 1 and 2. Here I have written. Consider a liquid solution of two components, 1 and 2. Individually, both the components exert some vapor pressure. Individually means before mixing. If you are taken liquid 1 in this container, if you take liquid 2 in this container, both the liquids they exert certain vapor pressure. So liquid 1 also exerts certain vapor pressure. Liquid 2 also exerts certain vapor pressure at given temperature T. Now you take P1 naught as the vapor pressure of component 1, the first component. Individually I am taking P2 naught is the vapor pressure of pure component 2 before mixing. Individually it exerts a vapor pressure of P2 naught. P1 naught is the vapor pressure of pure component 1. P2 naught is the vapor pressure of pure component 2 before mixing. Now when you mix these two components 1 and 2, you will get a solution. After mixing component 1 and 2, you will get a solution. In the solution, vapor pressure of these two components changes. It changes into some other value. When you mix component 1 and 2 in the container, so here we have two components 1 and 2. Now the vapor pressure of both the components will change. So here we have taken P1 and P2 are the vapor pressures. P1 is the vapor pressure of component 1 in the solution. P2 is the vapor pressure of component 2 in the solution. Okay, it changes. P1 naught changes into P1, P2 naught changes into P2 after mixing, because in the solution both the components are having different vapor pressures. Next, P total be the total vapor pressure of the solution. Here P total is because of both the components present in the solution. Here in the solution, in vapor phase, we can find the component 1 and component 2. Here in the solution phase in liquid state, we can see component 1 and component 2. Both these components will evaporate and they forms their molecules in gaseous phase. Here also we can see component 1 and component 2 but in vapor phase. Now due to this, they exert some pressure which is known as P total. P total be the total vapor pressure of the solution. That is because of both the components 1 and 2. Okay, quantitatively, this P1 and P2 are related to mole fraction of components 1 and 2. P1 and P2. P1 means vapor pressure of component 1 in the solution. P2 is the vapor pressure of component 2 in the solution. Both this P1 and P2 depends upon, or it is related to, the mole fraction of component 1 which is known as X1 and mole fraction of component 2 which is known as X2. P1 and P2 are related to X1, mole fraction of component 1 and mole fraction of component 2. Next, this relationship is quantitatively explained by, it was first given by Rawls. Quantitatively, Rawls explained the relationship between the vapor pressure of components and their mole fractions in the solution in terms of his law which is known as Rawls law.